authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I will be your interviewer for today. And with me is one of the Reader's Magnet's featured author. And today, she will be sharing to us what this book is all about, her as an author, and of course, what inspired her to write this book. So, yes, everyone, let's all welcome our one and only Miss Leisa Braband, author of the book, The Pet Nanny 1 and the pet nanny too. Yes, hi Lisa, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
Hi, Leah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope
Yeah,
you're
that's
having
good.
a lucky day today.
Wow. That's nice. That's good to hear, Lisa. Yes, and of course, Lisa, thank you so much for really, choosing Reader's Magnet to be part of this journey. And right now, your book, your journey, you're already sharing it among as many people. And yes, we are very excited to know more information about your book, The Pet Nanny 1 and The Pet Nanny 2. But before we do that, Lisa, of course, we wanted to know who Miss Lisa Braband is. So, yes, a little bit of self-introduction, please.
Oh, thank you. My name is Leisa Braband, and I'm been retired now from work for about 10 years. And I decided to follow one of my biggest passions and try to write a book. And it's like I just can't stop. It's like eating popcorn. I've now written Pet Nanny 1 and Pet Nanny 2 and had them published. My third book is in the process of being proofread and hopefully will
Mm.
be out by April. And there might be another surprise in the works, at least as far as my drafting it. So we'll leave that as a surprise.
All right, right. So I believe that you're already talking about the Pet Nanny 3. Wow, that's interesting. But yes, before we go over the
That
details
was a
with
secret.
that, oh, that was a secret. Yes, yes. But Lisa, yes, of course, about the Pet Nanny 1 and the Pet Nanny 2. So yes, can you tell us what this book is all about?
Sure. The Pet Nanny introduces the character Libby Lancaster. She's a 12-year-old girl, and life throws her a curveball. Her mom and dad have decided to get divorced, and the mom moves she and Libby into downtown Chicago in an apartment building. She's used to being a suburban girl. She's always lived in the same house, and it's a standalone house. Living in downtown Chicago is enough of a change. Living in an apartment building is a total change of plan. And so she's kind of depressed about it, kind of confused what's happening with her parents. Her life is just in an uproar until she decides that she could be a pet nanny.
Wow, that's good to hear. Livy is one of the character who's very compassionate with, who navigates the ups and downs of carrying various animals. Wow, that's interesting, Lisa. And how about the pet nanny too? Can you tell us, what this book is all about as well? The continuation, right?
Right. So the evolution of the book is in Pet Nanny 1, it goes from when they move after her school term is out in seventh grade.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the end of May, and they move downtown Chicago, and she has a full summer to look forward to with practically nothing to do because she hasn't discovered the pet nanny yet. And so at the end of Pet Nanny 1, it's the end of summer, and now she's going to be going to a new school in her new neighborhood, and that's the beginning of Pet Nanny 2, which goes through Christmas. So it's pretty much 3 months and 3 months.
Mm. Right. Well, thank you so much for that, Lisa. Now, in Pet Nanny 1, who are the main characters? I assume Libby, but who else is also introduced in this book?
So, of course, Libby's parents, who are getting the divorce, and
Mm.
Her aunt Lori, who's her mother's sister, and she's a realtor, and she finds them the place to live in downtown Chicago and shows up every once in a while. And the character that's kind of the surprise character is George, who is the building superintendent. And he's the one
Mm.
that actually introduces the concept of the pet nanny to Libby. And he shows up whenever she needs him. miraculously shows up. And so he's got a little bit of magical, mystical quality to him. But in Pet Nanny 1, that mystique is never resolved. We just know that if Libby's having an issue, George will be there.
Wow, this is so nice. I mean,
And
you
then,
know,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead, Lisa.
and then of course there's the pets themselves, because in Libby's eyes, the pets are better than humans to have around, and the pet owners.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you for that, Lisa. So this is actually a unique journey or a story, as well as relationship between pets and their owners. And at the same time, there's this George who also, highlighting the experience of the valuable lessons about empathy, responsibility, and the joys of connecting with both animals and people. Wow, that's nice. Right. Now, also for the Pet Nanny to Lisa, are the characters the same or are there new characters in the book
Well,
with the Pet Nanny too?
we carry over all the characters I just discussed, and she's going to school now. So there's the whole set
Mm-hmm.
of characters, the set of people that are integral to that. So her
Mm-hmm.
teacher, who's very creative and does not approach school like her old school did. So she's instantly in love with her teacher. And then there's the vice principal, who she befriends. And I don't think this is, sorry, I don't think
It's it.
this is letting any vital information leak out, but the vice principal ends up being brothers to George. So
Mm.
it's another connection,
Mm-hmm.
to the building and to her in her life.
Yeah,
And
especially if
then,
she's already in school.
right, and then there's new pet owners as well, and she might even meet a boyfriend.
Wow. That's interesting. Yes, and also in pet next question, Lisa, in the Pet Nanny one, we know from the book cover that Libby is a 12-year-old girl who just moved with her mother to downtown Chicago. What else can you tell us about Libby? As Libby as a character in this book.
Well, she's very multifaceted. You know, the way the broad strokes are, she's a typical 12-year-old in very many ways, but she is disturbed, of course, by the divorce. So she's not
Mm-hmm.
very confident. She
Mm-hmm.
needs the solace of her new animal friends, and they become her sounding board. But she
Mm-hmm.
has many talents too. She can play the piano, and she loves to read, and she has the empathy. I think you used that word just a minute ago for the
Right.
animals that a lot of 12-year-olds wouldn't have. So
Wow.
she's also has business acumen that she didn't even know she had, that
Mm-hmm.
grows during Pet Nanny 1 as well as into Pet Nanny 2.
Right. Wow, this is actually a good kind of book. Lisa, especially with families who has kids, because this would also improve the mental well-being while contributing to an overall healthier lifestyle. Because again, it talks about the relationship between pets and human, how both can take advantage, especially there's a lot of uh, things here that would contribute to a positively to a person mental health and happiness. Wow, that's nice. Especially making it a delightful read for animal lovers out there. That's nice. Yes, and also in Pet Nanny 2, Lisa, does Libby change? Yeah, how do you, or let's see, how do you make Libby relatable?
Well, she does change, and I think she's relatable in for anyone who's ever been a 12-year-old, especially a 12-year-old
Mm-hmm.
girl, or anyone who's had a 12-year-old daughter, or anyone who remembers that time. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
difficult time for all of us, I think, because life changes at that point, and suddenly we're responsible for a lot of the changes. So
Mm-hmm.
Libby's way of dealing with it was to start the pet business, and now she's not thinking about her own problems. She's thinking every day, how is this kitty and how is this doggy and what can I do to make their
Right.
lives better? So,
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's nice, Lisa. And you know what, Lisa? One thing that I can really tell in your book, because this book of yours is really it's a kind of book who would really build a strong relationship with your pet, because it really involves the consistency, the patience, and understanding, spending quality time together through play, or let's say training, to what to establish trust and communication, making sure that we also provide a stable environment with proper care for our pets. Wow, this is really nice. And it also shows the affection and positive reinforcement to strengthen your bond with your pets, ensuring your pet feels loved and secure. This is actually a good book. Wow, it's just so amazing. Yes. And right now, Lisa, going back to your book in the Pet Nanny one, I assume that certain pets are important to the story. So can you tell me about those pets? Can you tell us about those pets that's very certain in this story for
well,
the Pet Nanny one?
for the Pet Nanny one, but the two I'm going to talk about will
Sure.
carry over into the Pet Nanny 2 and play a big part in it. But the one character, the one dog, is named Rocky, and Rocky and she have an instant bond. And Rocky, unlike the other pets or most of the other pets, her way of taking care of them is to have a daily walking schedule. But with Rocky,
Mm,
he comes and stays at their house while the parents travel. So he bonds not only with Libby, but with Libby's mom and eventually with Libby's dad. And they become very close. Likewise, she becomes closer to his parents
mm-hmm,
because they're so grateful that they have such great care when they're not there and they don't have to worry about anything because Rocky's being well
mm-hmm.
cared for. So
Wow.
the other animal, there's just to just for clearer understanding, there's several cats and there's several dogs she takes care of, but Rocky's the
Mm.
favorite dog, but the favorite cat is Einstein. And Einstein is very empathetic, even for a cat. And she'll come and she'll leave Einstein go to the end of the day so that they could spend more time together. And she'll pour her heart out to him because his mommy travels, so she can be confident that it's just the two of them. And she'll
Mm-hmm.
tell Einstein everything about what's bothering her, and he'll
Mm.
meow at all the appropriate times. Meow, 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 and shows all the correct emotions to what she's
Mm-hmm.
saying. And so that
Right.
becomes one of her best friends as well.
Mm-hmm. No, that's nice, Lisa, because this book really talks about the connection with both animals and human. At the same time, it really blends about happiness, a heartwarming moments as well, making it like really a delightful read for animal lovers. Wow, this is nice. And also, Lisa, um in the Pet Nanny 2, are there new pets, or do all pets from Pet Nanny 1 reappear in Pet Nanny 2?
Well, not to ruin the storyline, but most of the pets from Pet Nanny 1 carry forward into Pet Nanny 2. Some may have gone
Mm.
over the Rainbow Bridge, if you're familiar with the term. Nice
Mm-hmm.
way of saying they died. But in Pet Nanny 2, in particular, there's several new pets that new people move into the building and she gets to take care of them. But one new pet was a kitty that she meets at school. Before school even opened, she discovers this cat that evidently has been staying in the building. And so she befriends the cat, brings the cat food, gives the cat a meal every day.
Mm-hmm.
And she just falls in love with the cat and the cat with her because who doesn't love the guy that gives you food, right?
Right, right.
But the
Uh-huh.
thing that makes that character special for me
Mm-hmm.
is that I had drafted Pet Nanny 2 I was almost ready to submit it to Reader's Magnet for publication. And my nephew called me and he said, I finished Pet Nanny 1. And I said, yeah. Now, my nephew, you have to understand, is closer to my age than yours. So, not a young man. And he goes, I didn't recognize any of the characters as being me. And I'm like, no. And he goes, but am I in the second book then? And I said, maybe. And I said, why? Who do you want to be? And I thought he'd say a pet owner. And he says, I don't care
Mhm.
as long as I like squirrels, because that was his thing. He loves squirrels.
Still, it's a pet.
So I figured, well, cats love squirrels. And I didn't really like the name I gave that cat that I just told you about. So I decided to call that cat Henry.
Henry.
So, yeah. So shortly after the conversation, I renamed the cat Henry. My nephew died.
Mm.
So it means a lot to memorialize him in that way.
Yeah. Right, right. And you know what? I believe, Lisa, that Henry must be very happy right now because you know what? I've seen your book online, and hey, you've been getting a lot of positive feedback coming from your readers. Some good reviews, and I mean, everyone who've read your book is really happy. Especially that this is again just like what I mentioned earlier. It highlights the relationship between the pet and humans, and the advantage of these relationship, the connection. Wow. And you know what, it's this is a great job. It's You did awesome, you did great on this book, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. And also, Lisa, I hear rumors that there's a Pet Nanny 3 in the works. So any truth to this rumor? And if so, what is the flow between Pet Nanny 1, the Pet Nanny 2, and the Pet Nanny 3?
Well,
We're curious
I
about that.
when I wrote Pet Nanny 1, I thought it was going to be a one and done. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got to a certain point and I saw how many pages I wrote and I thought, oh, I got so much more to say. I'll just make this the end and do a Pet Nanny 2. It didn't take long into Pet Nanny 2 where I realized there has to be a Pet Nanny 3 because I can't leave all these things just hanging. It's just not
Mm.
fair. So, yes, I'm in the process of doing Pet Nanny 3, and the way they're divided is Pet Nanny 1 went to the start of the school year and encompasses the whole summer. Pet Nanny 2 goes up to Christmas. And in Pet Nanny 3, it'll start with going back to school in January after holiday break up until May when she graduates. And
Wow.
that'll be it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. And yes, for our viewers out there, if you wanted to grab Miss Lisa Braband's book, that's available in Amazon.com, Barnes& and Noble, and also Walmart.com. And please do also check her website. That's www.authorlisabraband.com. So definitely it's going to be your chance to know more information about the book. And if you are the type of person who's also a pet or animal lovers, because knowing that these books right now, would really help the bond between pets and humans. It fosters emotional support, reduces stress, and enhances overall, let's say, well-being. Because just like what you mentioned earlier, Lisa, pet provide companionship. It promotes an active lifestyle through play and exercise, and can also improve social connections among pet words. I mean, pet owners. Additionally, carrying a pet also instills a sense of the responsibility as well as the routine. It could be a practice, again contributing to a positive effect to a person's mental health and happiness. So Lisa, thank you so much for gracing with us today. And is there any message that you'd like to say to our viewers right now?
I just hope that if you enjoy the book, you let us know. And if you get any questions that aren't resolved and you'd like me
Hmm.
to integrate them into Pet Nanny 3, I'd love to hear them.
Wow, thank you so much, Lisa. And yes, everyone, Miss Lisa's books will also be part of the LA Times Festival of Books. That's going to be on April 26th to 27th. So this book will also be displayed there. And yes, definitely, again, if you want to grab Miss Lisa Braband's book, that's available in Amazon.com, Barnes& and Noble, Walmart.com, as well as the her website. That's www.authorlisabraband.com. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Lisa Braband. Thank you so much for gracing with us today, for choosing Reader's Magnet to be part of this journey. And everyone, this is our author, Ms. Lisa Braband, author of the book The Pet Nanny 1 and The Pet Nanny 2. And again, Ms. Lisa, thank you. As we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you, Leah. Have a good